What's up, people? Welcome back to another explanation video. This time I'm gonna talk about things to know for the shield axe, and I did that for every single weapon in this game, so now it's time to do the same for this weapon. And yeah, might as well give you guys some thoughts of this weapon and where it stands and like the amount of the other weapons. And yeah, so without being said, let's do this. Okay, so first thing first, I want to talk about what are some good axes you can get from this game. Now, you can get one pretty early on from Extreme, right? Is one of those random ones. There's a lot of different weapons in it, but it just takes time to get one of them from the chest. So once you got that, there's other versions like the Supreme Ray version, and then the Ancient Apostle. You can get it from there as well, between level 500 to level 999. So you can get some of that good, axe from there too. Now the ones that I'm talking about here are the either you get it from the level 900 Divine Beast, you get the mini version, which has a lower attacks. The attack doesn't go up super high as a reward once you beat it. Now, if you want the other version that's actually higher, then you have to get it from a drop. Either drop from the level 900, or you get it from the Ancient Apostles once you level up to like 800. So there's a chance you'll get it. But if you want that chance to go higher, you have to go up to level 900 to get more. Most of these weapons can drop at, they can drop at level 800. However, they don't have us like super high rate at level 800. But I gotten most of the weapons at level 800. But if you want these weapons drop a lot more often, you have to probably do it at 900. So other than that is pretty much the other than that is just Ancient Apostles. Now, I don't really have everything in my inventory, but most of these weapons are I got from the skin, so they're actually weapons. In order to obtain the skin, you have to get the weapon. So some of these weapons you can pick up from like early on in the game, I'm sure. Like you just craft them from the smith, or just pick up from random locations. Like there's also another one from the Divine Beast, I'm pretty sure. So you can definitely get access to the axe pretty early on in the game. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so moving on, we got 8 sword skills as usual. So what are some good sword skills that I recommend? But before I get to that, I'm going to go over some of the sword skills. Now, most of the sword skills are kind of slow for the shield axe as usual, because yeah, it's not the fastest weapon in this game, but it's somewhere between like the mace and 2H, so not too bad. But it's definitely slightly faster than both of those weapons that I just mentioned. Charge up is just a skill that you actually just charge in the enemy, but it's not like the dagger version, you'll teleport to the enemy. Ousting combo is actually a very good sword skill, because you can down the bosses with this move. It's pretty interesting sword skill. It's like the dual wield where you have to use 3 sword skill to down the enemy. This one will literally do the same. You can down the enemies with that sword skill. However, it's kind of slow, so sometimes it's just better just press X to down it for me. But I did try it out and use that some combos. It was alright. Now, the Crimson is a very good hazard skill that I always use. And like the other sword skills are not as much, because these are like charging skills. Like charging skills in this game it's too long. I mean, we don't have time for that a lot of time. So Twisting Blade is a very, very good DPS skill. Now you can use that for hazard as well. I'm not going to talk about this customization yet, because I'm just talking about a skill. I will get there. That's probably next. Now, Reactive Shield is a counter skill. Now, the counter in this game, not so great. I mean, you might as well better I'll just press circle trying to parry it, or perfect deflect, or whatever. It's like it's much better than using a sword skill. So counter skill is meh, not as much useful in this game. Now Earthen Shield is very good. Actually, I use that for the quick skill connection, because most of the sword skill in this game, I mean not in this game, and for this weapon is all slow, so I need something faster. But this is quite simple because you don't have to do too much. Now moving on to the EX. The EX is definitely worth picking up because that's where you'll get your most DPS out of it, and most of the sword skill is very good with the EX, so definitely unlock that whenever you can. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the sword skill, the customization, and as usual, just look at the adjustment because that will tell you pretty much all the story. So like these, like EX, you can use whatever. Now there's a differences between EX skill and EX, sword skills. So they're two different things. Now like these, you can pick whatever you want, to be honest, it doesn't matter. Buffs, I'm not going to talk about buffs too much because it's pretty much similar to everything. It depends what you're doing, and you can use whatever buffs you want. As for the passives, anything increase stats, or more attacks, and yeah, it's up to you. Now get to the sword skills customization. Now this one has Dex and Vitality. Like Dex and Vitality isn't the best to customize in this game, to be honest. There's limited accessories that you can get Dex and Vitality. Now I always recommend to use Steel Hammer because it's just literally the best hammer in this game, so there's no question about it. Like Down Incarnation, it's included. I don't really need to mention Down Incarnation too much. You should be able to understand it at this point. So that's why when I do the builds and stuff, I don't really need to explain. It's already there. If you want to learn that stuff, but I have plenty of videos, then you can just watch it and you'll learn it. Now the accessory wise, anything gives Dex and Vitality, but for me I found out like the SP of Ring of Tranquility is actually a pretty decent one. You could also use the normal version, the XT version. All the stats are 60s. There's not many good accessories with super high, Dex and Vitality in this game. So the other good accessory is the XT Starter Bell. That you can get it from the East Supreme Ray. I have a guide videos where to get this bell if you don't know where to get it. The best part is the Unrival, obviously, for the extra damage. So 2 of them, because Steel Armor always included, and that way you can get the maximum amount of damage. So that's pretty much it for the simple setups, but you can also switch up whatever accessory you feel like it, and that's up to you as well. This Asne combo, I sometimes use it, but I mostly use the Earthen Shield because it's just a lot faster for me to connect. So this is mostly for a hazard skill. You get like quite a bit of hits to hazard the enemy. So as usual, the hazard skill I won't be talking too much. It's just the Incarnation plus the Unfreezing Spirit, or you don't have to use the Unfreezing Spirit. You can do that, or you can swap to another EX, like the other boot, to get an extra skill connect to get 4/4. So this is pretty much the same. Crimson is the same thing, and you just equip the same as the others. So like I said, 2 hazard skill, 2 DPS. That's all you really need in this game. And Twisting Blade will be a very good DPS skill. So some people might use other ones for DPS skill, but it's up to you, like I say. But for me, I prefer using the Twisting Blade and the Ultimate Rush for the DPS. Now, Strength and Agility is very easy to customize without a doubt. Now, this thing has a special bonus, which is the aerial bonus, times 2 damage. Now, what does that mean? I mean, it's basically a sword skill that's in the air, like airborne. So anything with airborne sword skill, like any sword skill that's in the air, that means you can use the Sky Dancer Plus, which you can get even more, power, so like 200% more damage. That's what makes some of the weapons are very OP. Like the dagger, and the two-handed. The two-handed is so busted in this game, so with the double sky dancer, you definitely want that for any sword skills, like with a ×2 area or ×2 down, and then with that you can maximize the DPS for the skill that does that. So yeah, steel armor as usual. YJ Boo is optional, but you can find something with strength and agility. But the thing is, I just want to find another with unrival, because there's not many things in this game gives you unrival. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the customization. Now, if I do like make videos and show it, that's what I'm mostly gonna show, because for me, I much prefer just make one video to explain like things to know about that weapon, and then when you watch, you know, like the builds and stuff, you'll understand much easier. So that's pretty much it for the shield. Is quite simple actually, not as complicated. The other thing is just the records. Records you can use whatever, it's personal preference. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the shield, and I'm gonna go over, you know, where I would put it among of the other weapons. Okay, so where would I rank the shield axe? I say somewhere between 8 rank, maybe a little bit higher. I don't know about S rank though. I mean, it could. I mean, some people might put it up there, but the thing is, it missing speed, and the adjustments aren't that great. I mean, it hits really hard, even just with the dex vitality and low strength agility with the other sword skill, and it still can get the job done quite a bit. So like the weapon itself is pretty powerful. You can pretty much beat everything with it practically. So a lot of weapons in this game can also beat everything if you have the right build. So for me, I think I put it somewhere in the 8, like the 8 rank, because it doesn't have the same vibe as when the what's it called, the spear released. Spear was an absolute beast when that thing came out, like, because of spear so powerful, like you got everything on the spear. It's kind of hard to match that. You know, spear's got speed, got good adjustments, got good DPS, got slow, got everything. So when this weapon came out, I don't feel it like the same vibe. I know the weapon is powerful, but it doesn't have the same, you know, spear as much. But yeah, the weapon itself is actually very powerful. It just won't make it to the S rank without, you know, speed, you know, with all the other attributes. It's just missing a tiny bit. Plus, like I said, you know, the adjustment, it's alright. It's just there's not many accessories in this game that can make it more powerful, because there's only limited accessories. Like you can only have like maybe a few, depends what you want to put it on. And yeah, a few is not going to get the job done, to be honest, because you want to have more, you know, variants and stuff. So yeah, ultimately the shield axe is very fun to play, and it's very powerful as well. You know, it doesn't mean, you know, putting in A rank will be worse than S rank, but the thing is, A rank is a very powerful weapon. There's a lot of weapons they don't make it there, honestly, but only a selected weapons will make it to A and S rank in this game. So they're very fun to use, that's for sure. Other than that, the axe shield is definitely fun to play with once you get to whatever, you know, like early game or late game, if you do decide to use it. You know, I actually really like the weapon itself, but I just don't like the speed and the what's it called, the adjustment that much. It's very hard to customize, especially when you want to maximize the potential of the weapon itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the axe shield things to know / reviews and stuff. I think that's all the weapons in this game. I mean, unless they just hide another weapon somewhere. I don't think so, but this might be the last Lots of things to know for the weapon itself. I don't know if I'm gonna make another tier ring for all the weapons, because to be honest, it's very difficult to do that at this point. I mean, if you only compare DPS at this point, it's not even close. I mean, there's so many weapons because of Sky Dancer. Plus, like, it makes so much more powerful. So it really takes away like what the weapon itself can actually do. If you just want to compare DPS, well, whichever hits the hardest wins usually. So that's pretty much it. That's no fun for comparison, because when you compare weapons and stuff, you have to compare everything, like speed, all the stuff, and not just damage. Because if it's just damage, it'd be too easy to rank them. So yeah, there's more than DPS in this game. It's just, there's also speed if it's really fun to use, and other stuff. And is it a meta weapon or etc. So a lot more differences. And I hope you guys enjoy it. This explanation video. Until next time.